friends, I am still working on, I'm looking for what I'm about to talk about, the Create This Book 3 challenge, YouTube's largest art collab. And I looked at myself today, said to myself, whatever, Christy, you're behind. So if you're new to this, let me just tell you a little bit. Aussie Crafter, Die Over at Aussie Crafter, had this amazing brainchild. Let's do the largest YouTube collab ever. So there's 50 artists that are not carrying, but we are shipping this book. I'm going to stay back here because I didn't move my water container. We are shipping this book all over the live long world. She's staying in plastic today, y'all. If you want to see a peek inside, look in the description down below, and my live on Sunday, I give a peek inside the book. But better yet, also in description is the current playlist. It's a running playlist of all of the videos that have gone live so far. Because every artist is doing 2 prompts, one that's chosen for them, one they choose themselves, and then they are producing some type of content. Most are doing like a traditional YouTube video to show off the process of the whole situation. Putting her back there for safekeeping. Because y'all, I'm a spiller. I am a spiller. Not on my watch. Yeah, and honestly, this book by Mariah Elizabeth has been, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it. A couple of people have told me how to pronounce it, and I cannot remember, but it's okay. This book started, hold the phone, with this one, Create This Book, the original, and it's a book full of prompts. Create smudges, create straight lines. Now the paper is, we all know what the paper is. So what a lot of people are doing, and it's been trending, for years on YouTube, is to go through these books and follow the prompts. It's a great creative block jump starter. Oh wait, there's a cute one. Create a pocket. I love that. I love it so much. Create an ink blot. So this is the first book. There's a 2 and a 3. Maybe there's more. I don't know. I feel like Watercolor Land doesn't keep up on all the trends. Like everybody was doing the one color trend. Hey, speaking of trends, how about the random color picker challenge? Has anybody seen any of those? Should I do one of those? Let me know. Yeah, so Misty said, I saw another artist do a spread. Yeah. But make sure you go ahead and bookmark, save that playlist from the Aussie Crafter and start watching so that you can get caught up, because it's actually kind of cool. I'm caught up now. And so I'll be watching everyone else's videos as they're released. And it's like you're part of the journey. It's so cool. Yeah, so I'm thinking of doing that random color picker challenge. So I'm here to work on my page, one of the 2 pages. My other prompt is still simmering. I haven't done anything for it except like brain work. I'm starting to get nervous. Yay. Oh my gosh. Hello. I'm going to get it. Sama, I hope if anything, the fact that I try to remember how to say names, even when I fail, shows you how much I care. Yes. Shows you how much I care. But for now, y'all, we're just going to go down to the painting table. I'm going to get this going. Yes. I'm all caught up with the playlist. Thank you. And it's fun because, I get to see the behind the scenes piece of all of it happening on Discord. But I highly recommend following along, getting caught up. All right. I'm just going to get down to it. I've been collecting begonias, clearly trying very hard not to kill them. This one, I actually think I'm going to propagate this one. I tore her off the plant today because she had holes in her. But then I'm like, wait a minute. I hear that these rhizomic begonias can be propagated by just boop, popping them in water. So I'm going to give that a go. It cut off the grossness. But anyway, see, for me, when I lose a leaf, it's not like a massive tragedy because I can paint her and you know, remember her forever and ever, amen. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it right here. I'm actually going to go over. This is going to be interesting because I have a lot of these purple leaves, and I don't feel like I need as many of them. So I'm going to use part of them to construct this begonia. We're going dark with this one, so I know I can take a lot of liberties with how I'm layering paint and whatnot. So I'm taking my liberties currently. Going dark, going moody. I thought about even going glow in the dark with some finishing touches, but you'll have to wait for the final video to decide if I actually do that. I'm not sure because I also I don't want to lose the watercoloriness of this whole scene. So I don't know. We'll see. I am going in with more coverage because I do want to make those purple leaves underneath really start to disappear. So, you know, you got to do what you got to do. Okay. I'm going to let her dry down a little bit. See how she's looking. Hello, everybody. Hello, Sue. Thank you for being here. Surprise live because I need to get this going faster than it's going. If you're wondering what this is, I am working on my prompt pages for YouTube's biggest art collab. I need some gouache. I'm going right from the tube. Come on. Oh, that's right. This tube is all dried out. I got to coax her out. Lots of liberties here. This prompt was create a bird's eye view. So this is my metaphorical forest of joy that is the current season of my life. It's blooming season here in Pennsylvania. I've been enjoying my plants. I've been enjoying my home. And I just kind of wanted to record that joy with this prompt. And here's my imaginary little begonia leaf inspired by this little cast off. I drag some of this. I'm going to just kiss the yellow watercolor marker into the pink and carry it down here. I love the color it's giving down here. I'm going to back in some more of this like violet, raspberry violet color. Okay. I said I was going to let her be. I'm going to let her be, let her dry, see what happens. I'm going to just keep going with the darker background start building that up, because I feel like it's going to give me what I need to make some decisions about the level of detail that I want in, you know, the foreground, so to speak, of this bird's eye view, you know, in the actual flowers and stems and leaves and all that jazz. All that jazz. Come on now, gonna paint the town. And all that jazz. How about this line? I'm gonna rouge my knees. I'm gonna rouge my knees and roll my stockings down. What? We rouge our knees? Is that like a metaphor for something? Or do I just not know the actual lyrics? Like, what is that all about? Who rouges their knees? Or was that like a 20s thing? Was that like a flapper thing? Oh my Lord. You never know. You never know what I'm going to start talking about. You just never know. 1/8 inch dagger, because I got to get into some nooks and also some crannies. I'm using those Korean quote unquote watercolor markers, so I know that I got to get the zhuzhing and the ombre and the blendy blending that I want to happen. I got to get it going, because if I wait too long, they like to stay put. That's why they're watercolor quote unquote markers. See, it's already doing it. It's already doing it. Just filling in negative space. What did I do? I think I did a brown last time I was in. I think I did browns over here, but you know what? I think I had my Winsor & Newtons, which I should go grab. I put them away. I was being all tidy and good. And I put them away. And I shouldn't have. This is why studios are messy. I look for areas smaller background areas that I can work in easily without a lot of stress of like, oh my gosh, I have to fill up this massive area before it dries and get everything all smushy and wonderful. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get a hard edge. So I look for the smaller areas that I can do this in. See, like right here, it's so tiny that if I don't like continue it and I start it up again, even let's say in like a day from now, it's going to be fine because it's tiny. I wouldn't be able to see the hard edge that tiny little area could hold. Does that make sense? Yeah. So look for those little tiny areas. Like there's a ton of them in here. Backgrounds like these can be tricksy because like obviously like right now this background doesn't flow with this background, but in theory they really should. So you have to always be like putting your eyes, like just watching as you develop the dark background. But you know, it's dark, yes, but it also is still watercolory. So you just have to kind of be watching the surrounding areas and that they're flowing and bumping up to each other in a way that makes sense. So I'm watching like right here into here. This little, I think just a little dab will do you a blue from this marker. Well, yeah, see that carries this area to this area. Visually, that makes sense. Now I added this, strangely, I added this other blue that's not really making sense. So I'm just going to kind of go over it instead of introducing a whole new like teal that I didn't intend to. Maybe I just forgot what I used. And also remember when you're doing this kind of background, it's really fun to edit your shapes, you know, and watch all that fun stuff emerge. My favorite gouache right now, because I finally decided I should try it, is Holbein. And I've tried, let me tell you what I've tried so you know kind of my perspective. I have done jelly gouache. Winsor & Newton is what I used for years and years and years and years. Out of the tube. And I've used Sui. It's SUI. It's that brand that kind of is always popping up on Amazon when you search gouache. I've also used Brain Engage. Is that it? Maybe that's it for gouache. Might be it. Can't remember. Oh, that's a leaf. What am I doing? Like painting over that leaf like it's background. Okay, I need to like really sharpen that so we see that it's a leaf. Okay. So yes, in areas I'm going super intense to the point of losing the watercoloriness, especially in the smaller areas, which you kind of, I find that with this type of intense background, you kind of have to lose the watercoloriness in the background. Otherwise you won't get that nice flow. So look for the bigger areas to get really watercolory. Like I'm going to get watercolory here. You know what I mean? Definitely up here, definitely here, that kind of thing. Yeah. So I'll actually show you. So I'm going to carry this through. I'm going to stay not watercolory here. Okay. Editing my shapes as I go. I'm going to do a nice big stroke here and then come in with my 1/8 inch dagger and get watercolory. Because I have the room. I can accomplish the flow from section to section here. Need a little brown coming in here. Maybe even carrying over to here. Just tap, 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 and out. Does it carry enough? Just looking, I'm looking here. You know, it's really dark brown. I might even be able to, you know, you could go in with a small brush and attempt some lifting to get back some of the watercoloriness. But if you're using watercolor markers like I am that are ink or dye based, you're not going to have much luck with that. So just know the limitations of what you're dealing with. I want to put a little gouache in here. I do not like the way this stained at all. So this is one of my little tricks, fix-it tricks, especially when you're doing dark, moody, more opaque watercolor techniques, is if some area gets really like just gritty, muddy, just float in a little bit of white gouache, like scrub it in, and you'll kind of get back. You won't get back the sheer quality of traditional watercolor, but it'll smooth things. And it'll lighten things. Obviously, white added to anything you're creating, you'll be creating kind of a tint or like a pastel of that color. But it might give you some like visual, like, oh, okay, all right. Just some calm, just some visual like peace about an area that got a little, all right. And actually then you're also kind of reconstituting the color underneath with a different medium, and then lift a little and look what happens. You can a little bit get back some of that watercoloriness with a little bit of positive lifting. Positive lifting meaning we're not trying to correct a mistake. We're trying to reveal something. I was just reading a comment. Someone said I prefer gouache because, you know, it can be reconstituted, re-wet, whatever you want to call it. So the comment was, I feel like there's less waste. And I could agree with that. I could agree with that for sure. Also, if you have an area that you want to get washiness back to, remember you can just re-wet it with clean water and come back like I just did there, because I knew that that kind of got dry. And I know that those Corrine markers, I don't believe Corrine is pigment-based. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. They do not act pigment-based. They act like dye or ink. I love these type of backgrounds. They let you get lost because you're repeating the same kind of grouping of techniques again and again and again and again. You're just a lot of repeating. So you can kind of really sink into it. I wasn't sure which word I wanted to use there. I'm going to do a little wash down here. This was another area that got kind of cruddy. Just too many different, it was like mixed media overload. And see, I'm releasing, letting it kind of sit, and then come back and kind of pull some of it out of there. Our paper, this is another really good case for good paper. I'm using Academy here because our paper, if we're using a good paper, watercolor paper, especially something that like a cold press that handles, that takes a lot of zhuzhing, a lot of back and forth, a lot of decision making on paper. You're going to just feel a lot more confident in being able to tweak things as you go and make changes and, you know, go mixed media if you want to, and so on and so forth. So. I'm just going to cover this leaf. I don't like it. I'm just going to cover her right up. Still very much in kind of the, dare I say, ugly middle. There's a lot of unanswered questions in this composition right now. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but it's okay. I'm going to do some more clover while I let some of that background digest in my eyes and in my brain and in my soul. I'm going to go elsewhere. Hit me up with questions, whether they're related to this challenge or not. I'm here for it. I'm just here to hang out with my friends while I do the painting. Where are my watercolor markers? Like the rest of them, I mean. A little bit of like a pinky, I don't know, what would you call this? Like an orchid? If you were to give this color like a vanity name, orchid. Yeah. And all that jazz, I'm gonna rouge my knees and roll my stockings down. So risque. How does one spell risque? Someone was questioning that in the comment section. I think it's R-I-S-Q-U-E. Is there like an accenty thingamajiggy in there? Who knows? These are the things I think of randomly. All right, I just started with a little bit of water in those areas, then added a little bit of yellow, and now I'm going to go in and just dab in some orange. I like the idea of this area being filled a little more with the fluorescent apricot-y colors. All right, also another area here that got kind of meh. I really like the way that looks with the little edges. Where else can I do that? Maybe just like here. Little orb. Ooh, it's like a little dewdrop, little bubble, little something. Ooh, a little berry, nighttime berry. I don't know what a nighttime berry is, but apparently there is such a thing. Now remember, I'm still thinking of doing kind of a little pop-up cutouts. So it's almost like, and I'm thinking of like scoring them so that when the page is opened, you'll be able to see that they're meant to kind of be like lifted a little. Like, let's do one. Let's do one right now so y'all can kind of see what in the heck I'm talking about while I try not to put paper on top of my newly painted orbs. Now, as that white gouache soaks in, it's going to kind of absorb some of the pigment or dye or ink underneath it, and it will not look so bright white. That makes sense. You know, I started this painting muddy. Anybody remember I started right here? I mean, I just mudded it up right from the get-go. So, you know, not too shocking where we're landing here. Did somebody say they wanted a ladybug? I've been seeing a ladybug, or what kind of bugs have I been seeing a lot of? Fungus gnats, but there's your fungus gnat. Oh, I feel like we do need a bug. Please don't ask me to paint a butterfly. I'm doing a ladybug. Tell me what a ladybug looks like. Red wings, black spots. Okay. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna red it up. Have fun with that. Little perpendicular hold on the maca for control. And then just maybe a little bit of like this rusty. For whatever reason, for this piece, I've really been sticking to primarily watercolor markers. I just like the immediacy of it. So yeah, that's not making much of a difference. I need like, where's my indigo? I always love an indigo watercolor marker for shadows. There we go. Just get in those nooks and then drag them out with a very light touch. And then you take a little brush and blend it out. Blend. And before you know it, you just have a very subtle like shadow. Yeah, kind of. All right, I'm gonna let her dry. I just tried to cap my brush. That's funny. All right, so what I'm gonna do, that's gonna be one of my little pop outs. I don't know why I'm not calling it the right thing. I'm gonna cut certain things out painted and like lay them on top. And use like a foam adhesive so that my hope is that people will be encouraged to like take their brush, right? And be like, ooh, what's just under that, you know, wing that I can't see, and then have little like hidden Mickeys under. Is that cute? Or is that just completely ridiculous? Let me know. So yeah, I thought that would be super dupes fun to hide things under the cutout things. Lots of things. Now see what I can do? See that area that I put gouache on? I can go back over. The gouache becomes a very like unstable like primer over an area that I didn't really love. Does that make sense? You remember what that little spot looked like. So I kind of created some primer for myself with a thin layer of gouache. Yeah, it's coolio. I go back to this little baddie and get, still looking into the scratch and sniff idea for a menu prompt. I am. I kind of just feel like it would be easy enough with like essential oils. I mean, they wouldn't last long, but I don't know. So my other prompt, it was chosen for me by Sabart, is make a menu. So I have to make a menu, which actually works really well considering my other life in the wedding industry. And I'm just going in and making some of this. I am like really obsessed with begonias right now. I am on the struggle bus in terms of like really sorting out their care and getting my new ones acclimated. But they are the most gorgeous, curious plants in terms of foliage. Foliage, however you say it. I'm always saying things incorrectly, I know, but whatever. So yeah, I'm in a begonia spiral and I love it so much. So much. Okay. We have our big, for those that celebrate in the US, you know, July 4th is coming up. My husband is obsessed with fireworks. We throw a annual party and it is madness. I try to kind of just stay out of his way. I mean, like I order, you know, drinks and food. It's a potluck because I ain't cooking for that many people. We have like 150 to 200 people come every year. It's madness. I'm like, I don't know that many people, but I guess I do. Church does it, like church. Ooh, I want to put the background around these Sigonium leaves that I added last time. I need to cap this. Anyway, so we've got tents in our yard already. We've got 4 bounce houses coming. I don't know. We just feel really strongly, you know, it started as a family thing, you know, it started like smaller, but it's become this way. Like we love our church. We've met so many people there. Our best friends go there before we even started going there. And I know how it feels. This is going to be a longer story. I know how it feels to go into a new place and just not feel like one of the cool kids. Like I know that too much. And so for us, this party once a year is just an awesome way. Like you see people at church and like you like, hey, but you don't really like, they don't know you and they don't like know your heart. So like, I don't know. It's just a way for us to like open our home and that make those connections with people year after year. And then the new folks that do decide to come, it's just been a great way to just connect with people that we're seeing each week at different events, you know? Yeah. So we go all out. We want to make sure people feel super welcome. Look at that Syngonium popping back there. A little bit of brown, a little bit, just a little bit. This brown can be overwhelming in a composition, especially in a small area. So I'm just going to get a little bit in there, but I want it in there because again, tying back to this really strong area that I love a lot. You can get a nice fine point with most watercolor markers that have a true brush tip. The Koreans don't, but it's flexible enough that you can get a really fine line with them. So I enjoy that about them. I respect that about the Koreans, even though it's not a true brush tip. I don't care what the packaging says. It's one of my hangups. If you're new here, hey, my name is, I'm really picky about watercolor brush marker tips. Lots of water lines because I've got my fan on, but it's okay. Just manage them by keeping an eye on them. That's all. That's all. What did I do down here? There's brown. Where is my brown? Where is my brown? Here, there's my brown. Shush now. Oh yeah, there we go. You can see the zigs are true brush, true bristles. So much more, you can get so much more control, really fine point. I mean, a lot of my zigs are old, so like the brush tips are less than ideal, but like this brown one I don't use a lot, so it is in prime condition, and hopefully you can see the control I'm able to get with it. Get some of those. I'm just going to edit some of the clover here while I can with some of the brown. Just creeping in there. Watch this clover unfold. Now that I've got you watching it, I hope I can actually accomplish it. I'm going very dark, not worrying about watercoloriness in these teeny areas. My goal here is definition. And I'm going with the brown because it's super dark, but not black. I might be able to get a little watercolory here, but I don't even know if I need to in this little area. Like, it's so small. I mean, I can try, but probably too much pigment on there already. Not pigment, dye. Yeah. I mean, you can, but it's like, does it matter really? No, it's just so tiny. I'm trying to save that little stem. This is so relaxing, this technique, because I've done it so many times. I'm very familiar with it. You're just kind of sculpting around the really juicy watercolory areas with, you know, full coverage background. At least in this area, that's what we're doing. Now, I can get watercolory here. Let's see if I want to. I'm just going to start my 1/8 inch dagger. Oh, I lost that stem there. This is what I mean by like walking yourself, talking yourself through, you know, areas of your painting that don't go the way, like, oh, I lost my stem there. I'm just gonna like push the color away, do a little lift and come back to it later, see if I can rescue it. I'm sure I can. Talk yourself through the tricksy spots so that you don't get overwhelmed and upset and nervous and, you know, thinking like, oh, that's it. I screwed it up royally. I'm donezo. Because you're not donezo. When an area is bothering you, go into another area like I am now and refine it. And oof, that'll distract you and make you think, okay, I still got this a little bit. I still can do this. I'm going to refine here. I'm going to go and refine right in here. Maybe a few little tears in the prickly pear bloom. Yeah. Another one right here. Is that too much? I'm not sure, so I'll leave it for now. Prickly pear blooms, they're not out for long, but man, they can get tattered. I don't know if it's because, are they bumping into the spines? I don't know what it is, but mine tend to get pretty tattered. But I actually like the look of it. Give them character. I'm adding some cross hatching into the background here. Because why not? I'm actually not losing the watercoloriness of it, but look at that. Right in here. Isn't that fun? Just a little something that you only really notice when you're close up. Lean says, Lean, you're having a party for 15 to 20. You're nauseous just thinking about it. Yeah, like we have a lot of, we used to do holiday parties, like not quite this big, but about 80 people around Christmas time. And that one I stopped doing because it did give me agita. I couldn't deal anymore. But you know, this is all outside. I basically block off, like people can use our potty that's right, you know, off from our garage, and that's it. Like it's an outdoor party. We have a rain date for it. We've actually had to enact the rain dates a few years. Yeah, we don't mess around because I just can't. I like things neat and tidy in my personal space. So I feel you on that. All right, I'm going to keep going in here now. See how I've kind of faded the background really intense and blues and browns to more blues and then just blues. So I don't know. I think I want to keep it dark down here for some visual weight in the composition, although there's really no composition here, let's face it. This is just watercolor chaos at its finest. I think I'm gonna aim for more compositional thinking when I start adding the dimensional elements. Just some more cross hatching here, very lazy cross hatching to just tie in here to here. so I can make this smoother transition to really mass tone, full coverage background as I come across. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to keep going dark, but then I do need to transition that dark to light when I meet up here. So I'm already kind of thinking about that, right? How am I going to do that? When am I going to start it? Just adding some detail to that leaf here because I have the opportunity. And I remember that purple leaf had that like sawtooth edge. This is moss. I'm just making the bottom of this moss edge a little raggedy. Okay, let's start transitioning. So a little bit of brown, scrub it in, a few dots of blue, scrub it in, let them meet here. That should be enough. Back to the 1/8 inch dagger damp. I'm going to start up here though. Man, that thing holds a lot of water even though it's small. I'm going to start up here and then I'll eventually bump into the brown. Just like that. Carry it up. Bump in, bump in, bump in. And here's where we make the full transition. It's not going to be working fully yet, but it's a good start. You can see that. While your brush is damp, just scrub it out until you've lost all of your color. Be careful not to say pigment. Now, need to really push the transition here. Backing in with some blue and bumping up with some blue. Bumping down. See, I'm connecting right here visually. Is that making sense, what I'm talking about with how I'm developing this background? Or are you like, I have no idea what she's talking about, but it's fun to watch? Let me know because I can try to explain it a little better. All right, we have a transition point here that's a little weak. Very dark, not so dark. One stroke will probably do it. Yes, indeed, it did. Really light touch. Take advantage of the delicateness of whatever tool you're using. If it doesn't feel delicate enough, probably means it's time to go smaller with your brush or finer. Oh yeah, this is a good, I think this is a good lesson in not having a heavy hand. Yeah. You have having a tentative hand for this kind of stuff is really good. So that you can make slower decisions. I'm barely touching the paper. That's the other thing too, like this particular marker I haven't used a lot over the years, so it is still extremely inky in comparison to a lot of the others that I have used a lot. So that's a consideration too. All right, let's take a step back, look at the transition. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Lots of delicate stuff happening here. Delicate touch, delicate lines, but not delicate application or color palette. And I'm here for it. I actually haven't painted quite like this in a while. Many would call it muddy and overworked. I just call it one of my styles. Definitely at that point in the painting where the painting kind of tells you where to go next. Obviously not 100%, but you get so much down on the paper. There comes a point, I find, where you just start kind of skippity-doo-dah all over the place. You go where you're needed at the time that you're needed. And I like that a lot. A lot. All right. Overworked is the easiest style to master. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to continue the background down here. Love that edge, though. I don't want to lose that. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm getting into the zone here, so it gets increasingly difficult for me to fully talk. Where's my brown marker? I feel like I have something on my face. Here it is. I want to go brown in here. Really carve out this area. I'm really unsure about like detail on this like joyful florist floor. I don't know what I want to do. I don't think my gut is telling me it's probably not needed. Like I'm talking like linear details and texture and all that jazz. I don't think it's going to be needed. What do I want to do here? Another trend. I feel like, do I want to go to dark again? I think I do. Back to black. All right. What questions are you having? Like, whatever it might be. Like, Christy, what are you thinking? Like, why would you do that? Can you explain? Maybe I can. I'm guessing I can explain. So ask me. Don't feel bashful. Don't feel like you're going to offend me. Blah, blah, blah. I'd love to hear. Love to hear like your head scratchers, like as you're watching something like this, because it's a little different than what I normally do. You know, the way that I paint for myself, like in a really personal kind of situation, is different. Of course, I think you would expect that from what I do for like lessons, because lessons, you know, I don't want to overwhelm beginners with the deep dives on like a really intense style that goes against a lot of like watercolor norms. I like to, you know, dose that kind of stuff out carefully. So this might feel really confusing. So I would love to hear if I can clear anything up. I'm not looking at the screen right now, but I'm about to, so just bear with me. I'm just adding some detail to this pretty flower. Have you been using... Oh, that's right. I do have the Caran d'Ache gouache set. I have not. I forgot about my Caran d'Ache like semi-moist pan set. Thank you, Nessa. You said, I'm curious to try that one. What do you think of it so far? I actually really loved it. I talked about it in my the videos when I came back from Europe and I was messing around with all the supplies that I picked up. I talked about the fact that I'm more of a fan of gouache straight out of the tube. I prefer not to let it kind of, you know, cure, so to speak. And I found, but you know, that can be tiresome and troublesome when you travel. So I found that those Caran d'Ache pan gouache, they were semi-moist. And when you just sprayed them down like you would see me spray, you know, my watercolor pans, they kind of reconstituted to a texture that felt very much like straight out of the tube. Does that make sense? So that to me was very exciting. And that's why I love them so much. So yeah. I used them a ton while traveling. It was very fun. All right, let's see. In the beginning, you showed create this book. Okay, yeah, let me kind of re-chat about that since this is a longer vid. So create this book by Mariah Elizabeth. This is the first one. I've done nothing in this book. A bunch of months ago. Gosh, at this point, I think it might have been like 5 months ago. I was asked by Aussie Crafter to be part of the YouTube's biggest art collab involving the traveling Create This Book 3, which is finally, after all those months, in my possession. And all right, I said I wasn't going to do this, but I'll go ahead and do this. This is my third live about this. That sounded snarky. I didn't mean it to. I was just being like cheeky. I'm fine to do this, but I just got to watch that water container that's right there. So this book has been on quite a journey so far. Each of the artists participating, there's 50. We've each been assigned a prompt by the person ahead of us. So Scott from Sav Art assigned my prompt, and then I got to choose a prompt for myself. The one of my choices, the one I'm currently working on. This one is create a bird's eye view, and my other prompt is create a menu. I'm just going to give you a little peek. Let's see. This one is an I Spy. Does anybody remember the name of this artist? This is an I Spy. Love this one. You have to go watch the whole thing if you want a full look. This is probably my favorite piece. I'm so bad at remembering all of the artists' names because so many of these artists are new to me, and I'm so grateful for that. But this is one of my favorites. Absolutely one of my favorites. I got to get my hand off of it. So freaking incredible. So anyway, we're creating our art. This was Scott's Create Realism. I cannot wait This was his other prompt. No, that wasn't his other prompt. I don't know what this is, like epic failures. Oh, wait. Oh, no, this is, oh, I'm going to open that on my video. I'm not opening that now. Look, I'm just going to give you a peek. Little envelope titled Epic Failures. This is like the coolest, like scavenger hunt hybrid with like, I don't even know. It is just so fun. So anyway, eventually mine's going to be in here. And then it's going to be passed on to, is it Shuzi? Am I pronouncing that right? Somebody help me remember. Anchored Art Designs. Yes. Yes. So that one, the scavenger hunt was Anchored Art Designs. Let me go back. Friends, please head into the description where you can see a playlist and get your eyes on all of it. Massimiliano, hello. I'm so glad you've been lurking. I appreciate it. I'm so glad you're here watching. Hello, hello, hello. Does the Caran d'Ache gouache dry out after spraying them with water? Eventually, yes. But they do go back to full on like cake, like cured cake pan type feel. But my point is that they really re-wet easily and quickly. And they re-wet to a syrupy, like tube, like fresh out of the tube texture. Friends, if you're enjoying this, would you go ahead and consider giving this a boop? That's a like. That would be awesome. Hi. You can see, look at my fiddly effer. She's doing awesome. But I also spent like $60 to make her awesome. She's got a grow light now. Like I spent more on the accoutrements to keep her alive than the actual, clearance puppy plant herself. But whatever. I enjoy it. But this is my studio. This is me. Hi. I don't normally have that camera on. It's just like in the background. But anyway, what's happening to the book after? I don't know. There's been some chat about what will happen on the Discord for all the artists involved. And it just seems like nobody knows. But that's the fun part, right? Nobody knows what's going to happen. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me. Okay. Enough of that. Boop. Thanks, Francis. Will I be doing the original book too? I hadn't thought about it. And let me explain why, but that's not a no. I hadn't considered doing it also because I feel like those kind of trends in the other parts of artsy YouTube, those trends where they shine and they kind of do really well and they're very successful, I feel like they fall flat in watercolor land. But let me ask, because, y'all are here. You represent in watercolor land. Would you like to see me do create this book? Some more of the prompts after this is over. I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. Because I did that one color challenge that took me forever and ever, amen. And honestly, I would have done it again, knowing that my video wouldn't even get 10,000 views, which 10,000 views for me is kind of the average I go for, But again, I would have done it. I would have done it knowing that if I would have gotten 1,000 views, because it was really fun. And it was a very one of those stretching type of videos for me personally. But I felt like it was just, there was no interest in it from my regular channel viewers. So then YouTube didn't push it out. So I don't know. I'm always thinking of so many things. Sometimes this week's video, it was just something I had to say. And I knew it was gonna please the core viewership, but not many people beyond it. But I was okay with that. It's got 3,000 views. It's okay. So I don't make my decisions always based on what's going to get me the most views. I'm so awesome. No. That was a long explanation and actually a lack of an answer. I just found the empty book on Amazon. Might have to buy it for myself. It's not too expensive. I think it's one of those Katie Kindle. It's like it should be super affordable. I mean, if you're going, you know, shipping from US to US, that's my perspective on that, what I just said. But it's one of those like print on demand, I think. Now I could be dead wrong on that, but it looks like that to me, feels like that to me. And the price point feels like that to me. Should paint a picture of your plant someday. Someone. Funny you should say that. Hold the phone, because you's new here, but I'm glad about that. So I have been, we're not going to look at this. I'm not even going to show you this over here because it's terrible. Okay, I'm going to show you. It's terrible. And I'm proud that it's terrible. And I'm working it out in this week's video. You're going to see more of it on the weekend. I am currently documenting all of my plants. This is my pink prickle grafted cactus. This is my fiddle leaf effer I pruned. Hi, she's bigger than my face. Wait, that's the wrong way. She's bigger than my face. Let's just go dual screen here. So I've been doing that. So there's her. Let me show you a couple more and then I'll get back to it. What time is it? Oh my gosh, it's almost 5 o'clock. So yeah, I have committed to doing leaf portraits of all my plant collection, some begonias, some more begonias, geraniums outside. Another begonia in progress because I enjoyed painting this one so daggone much. I wanted to see if I could repeat it. This is my Rex begonia vine, which it's not actually a begonia. It acts a lot like one though. I'm in the process of finishing that. And I did the other day, I don't think I have it here. I had picked some milkweed. Don't yell at me. I only pick one stem a year. Leave the rest to the monarchs. But I've been painting that. Oh, she needs water. I'm going to steal some from my spray bottle. So I did a ballpoint pen portrait of her. So anyway, my summer project is to paint a portrait or leaf portrait at the very least, like one leaf from every single plant. I've done I lost a little alocasia Frydek leaf the other day. So I did her. So anyway, watch for more of that on Instagram. I imagine I'll be doing some kind of something wrap up at the end of the summer to show you how far I've gotten. I have no delusions about the fact that I won't get her all done, but you never know. Right now my collection's at about 85 plants. So we shall see. All right, let's put that away without hitting too many things. And I want to get into this so you can kind of see where I'm headed. Need a little baby pair of scissors here. I actually just really like how washy she is. This is Fiyyaaaaahhhh paper. I believe it's D. She's part of our community, just one of our most beloved. She's just beloved because she's been around for a long time, and she's just always lifting up everybody in this community. And she introduced me to this paper because she sent me some in a journal that she handmade for me. You know the trick with cutting with scissors? Move the paper, not your finger, not the scissor hand. Move the paper. You can get a lot more precision if you just move the paper. Can't really show you the full effect, but move the paper, keep your scissors static. The character next to the plant. That's me. I screwed up my mouth really bad. If you want to see it unfold, so I have a little prime. I like kind of covered it with a layer of whitewash, and then I'm gonna go back in with acrylic wash and make, you know, it is watercolor, but I can't do watercolor over what I've done here to try to correct it. All right, so black. So yeah, thank you. That's me, Mama, Plant Lady Mama. That's my little alter ego. I have several. The other one involves a wig, and it's a hybrid between Ursula and Bob Ross. How many people got that connection on the last video where my alter ego appeared? Where is my black watercolor marker? Well, the heck with that. We won't use a watercolor marker. Anybody get that reference? My editor went all out on that reference in the last video. Yeah. The hybrid Bob Ross, Ursula from you know what. That is, wow, this marker's running out. I don't have a white gel pen, which would be so lovely right now, but oh, happy day, when I can paint. I don't feel faint. Name that tune. What do I want to do here? I want to create a little shadow, but I do love the watercoloriness that's happening here. So I don't want to lose too much. Yeah, right. I am full on mixed media land on this baddie. There we go. I'm going to really define those wings. Yeah. Okay. So my thinking is, I know I only have half the dots left. I'm getting very distracted. I'm very excited about what I'm doing here. I was listening to something the other day about this, like, somewhat of a tragedy that it can be for folks to be diagnosed with ADHD as being an affliction. And they were talking about how, like, our brains, now I am fully undiagnosed ADHD, but if you've been here for a while, I think it's like a, if you know type of situation. Her head is weird, but whatever. That it's not an affliction. It's like our brains are designed for creativity. Yes. Hello, Misty Moon. How are you? Nicole, sing with me then. And Ursula Bob Ross, you got that right. You need to check it out. Yes, it's my video about It's Not You is the thumbnail. And it's like about brushes and how all brushes of the same type, like not all round brushes are made equal. It's like 2 permanent videos back, not lives. All right. So I'm going to get like some dimensional adhesive. I'm trying to find something that's of a similar height to what the adhesive is that I'm going to use. But anyway, like I'm going to find, like, how cool would she be right there, but like floating above. And then to score on the back, actually, watch. Watch, please. Watch. Oh, all I have is this horrible big box cutter. Let's see what I can manage with this. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. When Jesus walked. They're saying when Jesus walked, like, you know, when he rose and walked, right? That's what they're saying. Okay, we're going to score. Now I'm scoring a curved line, which probably not going to go the greatest, but it'll give us some flexibility. So scoring is best, like if you're scoring with an actual razor blade and not a scoring blade, like on a cutter, you want like slow and steady. Couple of really light movements over and over, or else you're just going to either get a really raggedy edge or you're just going to go right over it. So I'm almost thinking of attaching her there, letting her arrive flat, but putting like a little note in that's like, check underneath, you know, like I want to come up with a poem like underneath petals, just below wings, you might find a little something. Okay, a poet, I am not. So that people are then like, if it's attached here and they can kind of see that there's a little laxity there, They might be like, ooh, what's under there? And they might find a little something. How cute would that be? Would that be cute? Do you think? Do you think? Let me know. Or do you think it's just gonna be lost? Let me know. Let me know what you think. Was it a cute poem? I'll have to listen to it back. Oh, thank you, Quail Feathers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This almost looks like Aurora Borealis, even though it's not. It's a, what's that called? It's the cactus that's not a cactus. It's actually a succulent, but it looks like a cactus. It starts with an E. Starts with an E. I don't remember. Whatever. But that is a look at what I'm thinking with the little pop-outs. That's where my brain's at with that one. Just a little pink action in here. Oh, happy day. I don't know why I have that song in my head. Do any of you watch the weekly lives with Bindi? I think it's Bindi and Fluffy Pigeon Art, and is it, I forget her name, I'm so bad. Madison. Again, the fact that I can't remember names is just a product of how my brain works, not a product whatsoever of my care or respect or evaluation of someone's worth. Okay, I just feel like I have to say that. But they do lives. I think it's every Tuesday, and I happened to pop on my first one today. They do it over on Insta, and they were all painting wild and colorful monsteras today. It was very fun. Very fun. Okay, that's a tattered monstera, apparently. My monstera cutting is not doing well. I have to do some detective work today and tomorrow. I had to take her out of the moss that she was in because the two roots that I had rotted. So sad. Anyway, I'm going to stop doing that because I'm not sure if I like it. I'm going to do one more. This is like an imaginary monstera, so don't come at me with biology and all that. Okay. I mean, you can come at me, but I'm not going to listen. All right. Just sitting back. I have the luxury, I actually get to look at this kind of stuff on the little third monitor that I have on my desk. But for normal people that don't have monitors everywhere, and I mean normal in the most like loving way possible, like I'm a weirdo. Step back, prop it up at least like 2 feet away from you, like prop it up on a window, on a ledge, on your mantle, on your cabinet, whatever, and get back, get down. You're going to see things like I see right here. I have an opportunity to like crisp up that area with more of that brown kind of backgroundy contrastiness I've been doing. Just the littlest hint sometimes can be all you need, but I kind of feel like that is so needed right there. See that? It's subtle. I'm not going to do it all the way down because it's going to start to look like an outline. I'm going to do a little bit more refining here. And then I want my pink. Where is my pink fluorescent from Kareen? I want to get in here and just get a little bit of the fluorescent going back into this. This got a little muddy because I was layering over the blue. So I just popped that back in there. And while I'm at it, where's my leaf? I'm going to create some of these splotches that are kind of surrounding this area, this darker area that's emanating up from the base of the stem. What is it called? I learned today, a petiole. It's like the arm of the leaf, the stem. Petiole, is that correct? Or is that a different part that I'm misnaming? But anyway, I was watching a video today while I was eating on flowers. or begonias specifically. Oh, that's pretty. See, it's opaque, but it's still, to me at least, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it reads watercolor. I love those like moments where something can be not as sheer as one would expect of traditional watercolor, but still read very watercolor-y, if you will. How many feel that this very opaque leaf, I want honesty, is still reading watercolor? Probably is being impacted by the intense watercoloriness of this, but if we just kind of look at that area, is it still reading watercolor? There's no right or wrong answer, because regardless of how it's being read, I still like it. Yes, D. Arthur. Yes. In fact, Corrine, that was one of the tips they gave me. And I was kind of annoyed by them giving me that tip, because I'm like, well, then it's just like, why? Why would I put it on a palette? But actually, once I got my head out of my butt about the response they gave me, it works really well. The question was, like, hold on, let me get a little dish here. Would the Corrine markers, you know, function well, better, whatever the case may be, if you kind of scrubbed, let me get it into view, scrub some on here and then painted with? And absolutely, that's actually how the company, when I came to them with kind of like my scratching head moments, they were like, yeah, that's kind of what you should do. Get them in a palette if you want more watercoloriness. So absolutely. This is if you didn't watch the first live yet, if this is the first one that you're catching while I'm working on this piece, this is a gymno cactus. It's a shortened, it's like a shortened version of the full Latin name, and I don't know the pronunciation of that. It's very long, like 30-point word. So I'm just gonna let it lie. You can do some really lovely glazing. Get a lot more subtlety. Absolutely. Yep. It is lovely. I adore it. Yes, I think so. It is, says someone. I see watercolor. Okay, cool. Jury's out. Jury's out. We're going to have a lot of differing opinions, but my thought is to pull it back into the watercolor direction, because I think I do want to. I think I don't want to lose the watercoloriness, is that my pop outs will be super juicy. Super juicy. And honestly, I kind of like that the dots on this ladybug are unfinished. It like pushes the imaginary quality, I think, a little bit. I do. I do. I do. Just getting some contrast there. What we did. There we go. Yeah. She juicy. She juicy. Me just playing with words and thoughts. The velvety underside underneath of the petals gently hold on to the wishes of all floor creatures. Nicole, can you message me that? Can you message me that? I love that. I will credit you. Okay, I love this. If anybody has a little poetic little ditty-do that you want me to consider hiding in this piece with your name credited as the owner and author of the ditty-do, will you DM me on Instagram? I'm Kristy the Painter, Kristy the Painter. Would you send it to me? I will take a look at them and I will choose some and I will include them in the little discovery underneath the pop-out things. They can't be long. Like Nicole, you need to like edit that down. They can't be super long, but I love that idea. Love you all have been along with me for this journey. I would love to include your input in a very like specific way. That is a great idea. Send them, DM me. That's how I'm going to get them best. DM me, Kristy the Painter, Instagram, please. And thank you. I'm making some serious progress on this today. Let's get down here. I don't know exactly where I'm going to cut this off, like trim it. I went a little bigger than I needed to, so. My daughter made all these marks. When I went live on Sunday. This brown marker is starting to run out of oomph because I've been using it so much today. Anybody else here, maybe you found me over on Scott's channel, I'd love to know. Anybody popped in from, you know, who's an artist that's part of the challenge, would love to say hey if you're here. I don't think I saw anybody pop in. I gave them, again, very little notice that I was going live. Because I was like, you know what, if I'm working on this thing, why don't I work on it with my friends? You know, one thing I love to do is use wax resist with watercolor. Ooh, and watercolor markers and watercolor pencils for my lights. Ooh, yes. So kind of like masking fluid. I got to ask, like, do you feel like you get a different vibe by using wax resist versus masking fluid? I'm curious. I'm so curious, actually. A little blue in here. And then pull that down. Blendy, blendy, blend. Did a video probably about a month back now where I was messing around with Kiritake's granulating watercolors, which I'm starting to hear trickles of them being back in stock. I'm going to try to link that video below, the Kiritake granulators. I really dove into some masking fluid and it was fun. I used to use masking fluid a ton in high school, but I haven't touched it since. So like I need some more time with it to reacquaint myself and figure out like how it's going to work for me and how it's going to kind of align with my personal style. But it was great fun. I do love this. It's like a midnight garden. It's a true midnight garden. Yeah. I just realized that this is some painting from, it has changed a lot, isn't it? It's changed so much. Okay, wax resist is different, says Misty. It's still kind of like batik. I mean, oh, okay. Wax is different because I've done a ton of batik as well, which, oh gosh, I'd love to do that again. It's like watercolor on fabric. It's so fun. I'm very curious to hear more about that process. Yes, lots of change on this piece since I went live. Even since I went live on what was it, Sunday that I did my surprise live? Why did I do that? Why did I go into the fry deck and just like junk it up? I'll never know. I'll never know. I do love how these Koreans, there's a coverage to them, but they maintain their sheerness. Like you see what I was able to do there? It's just mwah, chef's kiss. Love it. Some may say interesting use of watercolor. Most will probably say a muddy mess. But this is where she's at right now. And I must confess, I kind of like her. I'm the poet laureate of watercolor land. Not. Yeah, the trim line. I'm kind of painting over the trim line right now, but I want to be sure I get good coverage. So I'm just kind of fading away on this edge. We need some blue here just in case that makes an appearance. We need this flow from this background to that. See that coverage? Look at that. I'm cutting right through that brown and getting a little bit of that stem back. I got to figure up here. This was I wanted to have my my milkweed make an appearance. So she's kind of like floating on top of this euphorbia. Euphorbia, that's the name. She's just kind of floating there. So I don't know. And this is my syngonium, my red spot syngonium. I tell you what, I tackled quite a few of my leaf portraits for the summer goal in this one painting, right? Blendy, 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 blend. I don't even know. I've lost all track of time. The more I paint here, the less I have to go do party prep. Rawr. How do I feel about that? How do I feel about that? I don't know. I also don't know how I feel about the fact that we've got what looks like almost like a butterfly effect with these purple leaves. I feel like I almost want to, this almost is starting, this area, which is actually background, is starting to look like a leaf that time forgot. So I may be thinking about a way to rid her of that look. I don't know. We'll see. But I have to think on that. Also have to think on how I want to resolve up there. But I do know I want to do a little bit more hints of clover and then leave some really beautiful little delicate areas for background and then wrap up that area there. So my finished video where I reveal like both prompts, the journey, the finished result, I don't even like, I'm struggling. Like I'm a little scared about like how long this is going to take me. And I don't want to slow down the whole like challenge at large. And I, you know, I did some work before the book arrived because I knew what my challenges were, but it was more brain work. And I think I got really stuck all up in my head about it. So I didn't get as much done as I had wanted prior to the book's arrival. So we'll see. I'm going to do my best. That's also part of the reason I'm doing some of these lives so that I can hopefully keep some interest going in this. Because, you know, we're also in the US, we're on a holiday coming up. And so like, we want to keep what's the buzz going about this whole thing as things might slow down a bit because of the holiday and because of the Christie effect. So we'll see. We shall see. Okay, let's really get in here and notch out some detail. Fill in the nooks. Get to those crannies. Push and pull. watercolor, y'all. It's push and pull. Pull away color, push in opacity, push in vibrancy, pull back on texture. There's just so many ways to go. And it's just a delightful journey. Little cross hatching there. I like seeing that effect around. The cross hatching also is a great way to kind of soften difficult transitions in those juicy backgrounds, a la the style I've been working on this entire time. Cross hatching kind of like helps those transitions visually. Oop, that's damp up there. Gotta get out of there. But you know me, I'm always pushing the envelope. Okay, I'll have to revisit up there once that's dried. Oh, I really like that up there. I feel like I want to get a little bit maybe down here where I have some space. Maybe even up here. I love that clover. That clover is life against all of the bigger, juicier areas. Life. And I'm actually super glad that I decided to really give fluorescent a voice in this piece, because it's kind of like a, and you know, of course, I'll be protecting it with UV spray and whatnot, but it's kind of like a, I'm going to get crap for this, thumbing my nose at the man, the watercolor man. Yes, I will use my fluorescents, and yes, they will be exposed to the elements, and yes, they will fade, but not as much as you think they will. If you're new here, it's a long story. Oh gosh, this one's about dead. Cracks and nannies. I love that. Nooks and crannies or cracks and nannies. Yeah. Wow, it's tiny. I'm digging it though. Oh, it's so satisfying to get these little areas notched out. So satisfying. You. Trying to texture up the moss. You know, let's go back up here actually and give this prickly pear bloom a little center interest. I don't even remember what the actual center looks like. They're right outside my window, but I can't really see them close enough. But I'm gonna make something up. Lots of Koreans today. Lots of Koreans. I need a liner or a 000. Where is she? glasses are coming off for this one. Ooh, I almost dropped my mouse. Let me get in here. I want more definition. The cranes don't have a really fine tip. You can get some stuff out of it, but why struggle when I can get a beautiful brush out and really hit it? Why not? This one is from my Free From Fear brush collection. All the links for supplies that I use most often are down below. I need to update the links here with the careens and the zigs and all that. I don't think they're down there. I could be wrong though. My memory is short. And right now I am using just paint and brush. Paint is the Art for Joy's Sake palette. Digging into that beautiful blue. And just going out on the edges and really darkening those outer little creepy crawlies while leaving the center pretty much alone. My art looks comfy and happy. Oh my gosh, best compliment ever. Best. I so appreciate that. Let's give you a little looky-loo. Sunspots. Yes. Let's see where we're at. Can't lose the ladybug. Where'd she go? Where's my ladybug? Where'd she go? There she is. Let's get her in here. My weird ladybug. Thank you, Nessa. Thank you, D. Arthur. I just got the coolest. Speaking of sunspots, I don't know if I have her out here. I got the coolest plant. I bought like a little teeny baby. She's got a bunch of leaves on her, but she literally looks like it has yellow splotches that look like if you took a marker, like a watercolor marker, and went and let go, and it just like kind of created like a spot, like a sunspot. They're so neat. They look like galactic or something. Thank you, Karen. Hey, Karen, I just have to tell you, are you the one that you've been following along? Let me just ask this first. Let me just confirm that my memory's not failing me. You've been following along with this whole thing, right? With the Create This Book 3, the largest YouTube art collab thing. Correct me. And then I will continue what I'm going to say when I have my beliefs confirmed. Like probably commenting on folks. Yeah. Okay. I just need you to know that the folks in this collaboration notice your comments and appreciate you so much. I actually you commented on one of my lives, I think, and said, I think it was on a live, and you were just like talking about some of the other artists and what they're known for. And you were just so generous with your kind words. And I screenshot it and I shared it in the Discord. And they were like, oh yeah, she's commenting on all of ours. She's so awesome. We're so grateful for her. Like they know that you're watching. And I just thought it was so neat to make that connection. I just thought it was so neat. So anyway, you know, the words, the generosity of spirit that we show. And like, sometimes we think like, oh gosh, they actually see this comment. Are they listening? Yes. People listen, say the kind things that you're thinking. Put yourself out there because it makes a difference in the way people feel and the way they think about the work that they do. And yeah, it was just cool that I went and shared that comment and people were like, oh my gosh, yes, we love her. So sweet of them. Yeah. So cool. I am just adding some of the white dots to this imaginary angel wing begonia here because that's what she is. I don't have one in front of me. So I kind of remember the dots radiating at an angle towards the center vein, which I also don't have in, and I want to add it, but it needs a little green in the mix. You know what? I'm just going to kiss this green marker right in here. I know y'all are like, what are you doing? I know, it's okay. So now I've got a nice light green right in the top and it'll clean out. I'm going to blot, and then let's get in here with the vein. Oh, she runs out quick. Oh yeah, I got the fan on. Oh geez, I'm going to have to extend that. Did you see what I did? The vein habit on an angel wing are very interesting. They like arc way up, like here. I'm going to make that a little more intense in areas. They arc way up, and then they slowly lose kind of that high arch, and then they actually point down. Yeah, it's wild. And they have little meeting point right in the most curious of places. So cool. All right, if you saw what I did, you'll know why I have to do what I'm just about to do. I actually went like over top of another area that wasn't actually part of the original, my original shape intention for that leaf, but I'm just going to carry her out and whoop her back into shape. What did I do with my Art for Joy's Sake palette? Here it is. I need that emerald. See? I just got a longer angel wing. There we go. Boop, boop, boop. Let that dry. I'll come back later and zhuzh. But yeah, dimensionsaling. That's right. And let it flow. I'm just going to have fun with what I'm interested in and let it flow. That's right, Ro. Sorry, my one feed kicked out. So now when I go to like highlight one of your comments, let's see. I just came across a Facebook page on my feed and I want all the palettes, all the painty things. Was it my page or was it like Watercolor Beginners and Beyond? Hello, Fukumachiro Art. I hope I got that right. Hello. The Tattered Maiden. Oh, I love that name. That's amazing. I'm not sorry you're late because it means you're here. Your page. Oh, God. You know, I have to be honest. I am running ads, and if you're new here, I hate ads. So I've been experimenting with ads that don't feel adsy, if you will. And so you may have found me that way, because got to send these childrens to college. So, yeah. But anyway. I'm glad you found me, however you did. But yes, we have a fun page. I actually want to start, I think I want to start like a group, like an actual group. Because what I have now is Art for Joy's Sake with Christy Rice, but it's just a page. And like you all can't post on there. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd have to repost for you. And I actually would like to get a page going where you all could make the page what it's to be, like a group. Yeah. I have not painted since 1992. Just recently started back up again. Well, you are in the right place. Hello. Wait, were you the one that was just messaging me like in comments on one of those posts? Talking about your daughter and you and where best to buy the products? Was that you? Because that would be cool if it was. Because I was just like commenting back and forth like twice with somebody. Yeah, a group, right? We need a group. Although, I mean, Watercolor Beginners and Beyond, Diane Zimmerman is the head of that group. That, like, part of me just wants to keep sending people to that group because they're already so established. And, like, what could I do in a group that would be different than what Diane's doing? So I don't know. Not me. Oh, okay. It sounded like you. Anywho, so here's where we're at. If you're watching this on replay, friends, it may be at a time where this whole create the book thing is already donezo. So go ahead in the description and, watch all of them. You need to watch all of them. I just did a teaser here. You saw the caliber of artwork and creativity going into this. Watch it. Carity still says, I need a group. Okay, I'll think about it. I'll keep thinking about it. Christy, if you could choose one or the other, would you get Kareem's or Zig? Zig. Zig. Hands down. Hands down. Kareem's are fun. But if you don't have watercolor markers yet, like I have all the Zigs. Plus there's some other outliers in here. I actually need to replace quite a few of my Zigs because I've been using them for years. And honestly, these are like over 5 years old and most of them are still going strong. And I use them hard. Like I dip them in water. I do wet on wet with them. I run them ragged. So they are, and they have the real brush tip. Like it's actual bristles that you could separate with your fingers if you tried. Whereas Kareem's are not. Kareem's don't, even though Kareem's and Zigs, I think, are some form of ink and or dye. They're both that. Zigs seem to be, they act like watercolor in terms of like you can lift them and they don't stain as much. I mean, that's very much color dependent, but like the actual color of the marker dependent. But yeah, Zigs, Ziggy. I've got them in my Amazon store. If you want me to get a couple cents for having a looky-loo or a purchase poo, you can head into the link in the description. And I do have all the different sets, different sizes, different collections. But check your prices because I don't know how competitive the Amazon sellers are on the Zigs compared to like jet pens or something like that. Oh, you've been having fun with the Neocolor 2s. Yes. So friends, if you're not familiar, Neocolors, they're like kind of like a watercolor crayon, but not waxy. It's hard to describe. They're fun and they leave a lovely texture, but also like wash out. Gosh, how long have I been live? 2.5 hours almost? No, 2 hours almost. No, almost 2.5. Anyway, more similar to the Winsor & Newtons. Okay, great question. So Zig watercolor markers compared to Winsor & Newton. Winsor & Newton is pigment based. So you get that full, flowy, washy, explosive experience. Very, very juicy. However, in my opinion, there's an unnecessary nib end on the one side. I do not use it. I don't like it. I don't like the way it disperses color. And then the brush side is not actually a brush like the Zigs are. It is a flexible felt tip is the best way I can describe it. So I like them. They make me happy. But still, if I had to choose, if I was just going to get one set to start, I would still go with the Zigs. Hopefully that helps. Carity says, metallic watercolors are my new obsession. They were not a thing back in 1992 high school art class. Yeah, right? Right? Yeah, they're fun. I have a set of metallics that someone sent me that is very cool. And I cannot wait to share it with everybody. It's this cool little card that was designed just for me and it's super neat. So anywho. I have a letter here. I feel like I should read it and then I am going to pop off. There's a little letter that someone sent me. I'm just opening it on camera here. Thank you so much for the nice things you do and the thoughtfulness too. Oh, this is from my best friend's birth mom, who I love dearly. She is like the most incredible human. Once in a while, oh gosh. So here's the story. So I was at my best friend's house like a month and a half ago, for maybe even longer, 2 months ago. And it was so exciting. Her first mom lives a long way away from where she does. And she flew her in for her daughter's birthday. And I hadn't seen her in so long. And she's just one of those people, like you meet someone and you immediately feel like so connected. Well, that's her. That's Mary. And so she has, gosh, is it her friend or is it family? I think it might be a family member who watches my channel and loves the channel. And I was like, well, why don't we wake up tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, and why don't we get her on like a Zoom and we'll paint together? And so we did that. And it was so fun. And then I decided to send them both like a box full of goodies afterwards. And she says, once in a while, we may be fortunate enough to come across a truly caring, generous individual. You're one of these people. I can't read. We went through, as we went through the pandemic, I took heart from your posts of your deep love for family, art, and freedom to live our lives as best we can. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. In your beautiful gifts of the book, the paint, and the brushes, I was ecstatic. They arrived on a day where, this isn't from Mary. This is from her friend, her family member. I think they're family member. This is from her friend that I painted with. This is from Diane. I arrived on a day where being an oncology nurse was rough. Thank you. So cool. Thank you, Diane. Anyway, it's wonderful the people that you meet. Like, would I ever think that I would become so like attached to my best friend, my childhood best friend's first mom, and then meet Diane through that connection? Isn't the world cool? Isn't the world cool? Misty, I think her description of you is perfect. You were very caring and generous, and I think of you as a friend too. I'm glad, Misty. Oh, yes, Core did release. They sent me some. Core did release. Yeah, here we go. They let me choose like 3 or something. Gosh, apparently I don't want to actually do real life today. I just want to stay on this live with you all. Yeah, look at, what a fun package. Core, so good. Core Modern Watercolors. Yeah, there's granulating, interference. Let me see what I picked. I don't remember what I picked. Look at that. How about that box is like, here comes your golden paints. Yeah. Let's see. What did I pick? I think I reached out to them. I'm like, do you send out samples? Because I'll like talk it up. Oh, it's a sticker. Yeah, they don't mess around. You know, sometimes you receive stuff and they just like throw it in the box. You're like, thanks. No, Core doesn't mess around. All right, I picked cadmium purple. Yeah. Yeah, I did. Don't put it in airbrush. Is that what that symbol means? I'm trying to look for the pigment info. I can't find it quick. Interference green orange shift I chose, and then benzimaldazone burnt orange. Benzimaldazone. Oh my gosh. But I can't even pronounce quinacridone consistently and efficiently. Are you kidding me? This is PBR 25. Oh wait, here's the pigment info. The cadmium purple is PR 108, and the green orange shift interference is, well, actually, yeah, I don't think that won't have pigment info, right? There's all sorts of weird things. I don't know. I don't see any. I don't know enough about interference paints, but anywho, I'm looking forward to trying those. Maybe I should just try them now. And then that'll be my swan song for this live. I don't know. All right, let's do this. All right, we're just gonna do it the fast and loose and lazy way. Here's the interference, just a little. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think my daughter's out there trying to get my attention, or maybe it's a cat. Sounds like a cat toy. I should have done that on black, that interference. Little splooch. This is the burnt orange, and this is the cadmium purple. All right, this is cadmium, and it had all sorts of stuff on the label. So let's be careful. Ooh. Okay, that is not as violet as I thought it would be. That's okay. Let's just get this loosened up. I should have done this on black, but I'll let her run off right onto there. High fives for everybody. Have a great day. Bye, D. Arthur. Thank you. Yeah, I'll need black paper for the interference. Yeah. I mean, it's doing something. That's interesting. This isn't a very textured paper, but I mean, it's Corin all over the place. It's Corin. Do I have any black paper just nearby, Ski? Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at that. You. That's fun. I'm going to dry my brush off a little bit and get a little mass tone going here. Right? Oh, that's fun. Look at that. The orange right there. And then the green. Yeah. Love that. All right, let's take a look at what these granulators are doing. These are supposed to be granulating. They are granulating. Yeah, nice. Anyway, friends, thank you so much. This was a blast. Let me give you a little looky-loo at this from a distance. Oh, you want my butterfly? I'll pick her up. Can you see a little distant view? All right, it's showing. It's showing. All right, a little distance. Gosh, I love Bette Midler. I need to listen to her more. There she is. There she is. There she is. All right. Thanks so much for painting with me and making this experience of bringing this piece to life a way more fun. I mean, it was already super fun, but you made it like, woo, off the charts fun. Thank you. Thank you. I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to be live for my normal, well, it's not my normal time because of the holiday, but tomorrow at 3, I think, getting my nails done because they a mess. So I'm going to have new nails tomorrow. If you have any suggestions for what I should do with these nails, let me know. Should I do like a create this book 3 inspiration nails? Let me know. Let me know what I should do. Let me know. Keep commenting. Head over to Instagram. Tell me your poetry ideas for little peekaboos underneath this. I'm gonna pick up my ladybug because I want to include some of your inspo, some of your ideas in here. Starry Night nails. I like that. All right. Eastern, 3 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, friends. Go watch the playlist. Get in it. Get in it.